Sometimes I ask myself if there's not some ounce of ancestral Filipino blood in me. I don't know. Is my shadow Filipino? I don't know. Two, three, mabuhay! Hey, kamusta ang lahat? How are you folks? Hi, I'm Pierre and welcome to Neon Reactions. We are here today with three short videos that have been requested so often, and we're going to watch them. I had them on my list now ever since I think the beginning of the year. I'm working one at a time, so here we are. It's from a channel called the Filipino Story Studio, and it seems to be a three-part animated video on the Philippines. So I have no idea what this is about. I've only seen the thumbnails, and and I've seen that a lot of people told me to watch this. So that's what we're going to do right now. Folks, before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like and share the video. Hop on over to my Patreon. If you want to support me, check out my Discord, my podcast, with V, my 2-3 Mabuhay shirt. And yes, if you have anything to tell me, wait 1 second. There we go. If you have anything to tell me, the comment section is the place to go. But now it's time for I just don't know yet. Let's do this. Okay.
What does it mean to be Filipino? Is it our taste for strong, flavorful cuisine?
Yes.
Is it our obsession with playing basketball, even while wearing flip-flops? Or is it that strong sense of pride that we often feel when we see fellow Filipinos in the international spotlight? Maybe it's something much deeper than that. Maybe it's because we all share a mother tongue? Although we don't really have one, since there are over 170 unique Philippine languages. Some say it's the color of our skin.
No,
Well, that can't
no, it's not the color of your skin.
be it either, since Filipinos come in many different shades and skin tones. It used to be because we were all from the same archipelago, but now there are millions of Filipinos scattered all throughout the world, one of the largest recorded diaspora in history. If we really want to find out what it means to be Filipino, then we have to go back.
Way
Way
back.
to the story of one
Way
of our
back.
first ancestors called the Austronesians. They were a group of people that used the oceans and the seas like wide open roads at a time when other cultures were still inventing the wheel. Over 5,000 years ago, the Austronesians possessed advanced sailing technology that allowed them to explore and discover many different lands, one of them being the archipelago that would later become the Philippines.
In their travels, they found the heart and soul of happiness, perseverance, joy, and community.
Eventually, they developed boats
Actually, they became the community already while going there.
called balangays, which they used to
Balangays, the
explore
boats,
the
yes.
rivers and coastlines of these newfound islands. Within the boats, early Filipinos worked together as a community in order to make their daring journeys possible.
Ha! I just said so. Yes. Wow, this is cool.
From navigation, fishing, rowing, and steering, each person did their best to contribute to the journey in whatever way they could, because they were literally all in the same boat, and by caring for one another,
Yes.
they survived and thrived.
Wow, and yes, and you are still. And I think that's what makes the Filipino people so special. It is still, you are still all in the same boat. You are still all on the Philippines. That is your boat. That is your community. Everybody does her part so that the boat keeps on running.
This strong sense of togetherness took root at the
Yes.
core of Philippine culture, which is why we
Oh, that was a cool transition. Did you just see that? We've got the same scene in the modern days as we had on the boat here. Wow. We've got the mama with the child here. We've got the young man teaching the boy something or talking to him. We've got people doing different kinds of things. The sailors here, the one steering, the one navigating everything. And then we transition into modern days. And once again, we have the people around here. Wow, we've got the young man with the boy. We've got the mama carrying the child. This is cool. Wow. This was an absolute well thought out transition. I like this.
We'll call a small community in the Philippines a barangay today,
Barangay.
named after the balangay boats of our ancestors that represented cooperation and collaboration.
My God.
This idea of extending a helping hand to our neighbor in any possible way became known as bayanihan, from the
Bayanihan,
Filipino
yes.
word bayan,
Bayani.
which means hero. And examples of the bayanihan spirit can be seen all throughout Philippine history. From tragic wars, natural disasters, and other calamities that the country has faced, it's the bayanihan spirit that Filipinos have counted on to keep them going. Filipinos being
Wow.
heroes to one another to help their brothers and sisters in their community, expecting nothing in return.
Yes.
Today,
Yes.
the bayanihan spirit lives on, expressed in many unique ways by modern Filipinos in the archipelago, as well as in distant foreign shores. Why do you think so many Filipinos want a job that involves helping others?
Yeah. Go figure. Sometimes I ask myself if there's not some ounce of ancestral Filipino blood in me. I don't know. I worked in the medical field for 17 years. I'm a registered nurse too. I worked 11 years elderly care and 6 years intensive care. And yes, I don't know. Sometimes I ask myself, is my shadow Filipino? I don't know.
Or that we are known
Mabuhay!
as the most hospitable cultures on the planet? Or that Christmas season,
Yes.
a time of sharing
Is
and
the
giving,
longest in the
lasts
world.
for 4 months in the Philippines.
Yes.
It's because deep within every Filipino, no matter how far we may be from our homeland, the flames of our past forge the bayanihan spirit into our hearts. And that's what we carry with us, no matter where we are. So to answer the
It's
question, what does it mean to be Filipino?
The thing is, I think all of that, the hospitality, the friendliness, the joy, the overall love of your next, the communal thought is just the counterweight to all of the catastrophes that are happening in the Philippines. There has to be a counterweight to to the volcanoes, to the typhoons, to the flooding, to everything that happens. The people have become the counterweight to all of that, and all that joy and happiness and love for each other is just basically like a fight against the bad things that's happening. It's really nice. I've been looking into the Philippines for 2.5 years now. It's been getting more recently because of my plans, but there is not another country and there are not another group of people that are like this.
Well, if we look at our history, I guess you could say that being Filipino means to care,
Yes.
to share,
Yes.
and to love. To love your
Wow.
family, your neighbor, and your community. Because at the end of the day, no matter where we are in the world, we are one people on the same journey, on the same boat.
That is, isn't that like we are one people, the basic thought of kapwa? Yes. And you are on the same boat. I mean, at the end of the day, we all humans are on the same boat of Earth. But breaking that down, you on the Philippines are all on the same boat. You are definitely riding the same waters with all those typhoons smashing the East Coast and flooding everything. My God. This is beautiful. This is such a beautiful done. What would we call it? Documentary story? This is the drawings are great. The graphics are just beautiful. The narration, a soothing voice, simple but very profound words. Wow, this is good. This is really good. I should have watched this earlier. Beautiful. Okay, let's watch the second one. The Beauty of the Philippines.
The beauty of the Philippines is often portrayed through iconic postcard locations, like the Banaue Rice Terraces, the 100 Islands National Park, and the historic city of Vigan. But when asking travelers that come here what they find the most beautiful about our country, many of them would say,
It's the smiles, the hospitality. Here we are again. Okay.
it's the people.
Yes, the people.
Positivity, generosity, and hospitality that Filipinos express
Wow.
to others has left such a big impression on so many of our visitors that it's become a defining characteristic of the Philippines as a whole. But what is it that inspires this beauty to spring from the hearts of Filipinos?
Okay.
To find the answer to this question, we first have to look at the natural beauty of the Philippines and how the country was formed.
That is true.
Scientists say that it was a geological process that took millions of years, involving tectonic collisions and powerful volcanic eruptions. The result was
And
an archipelago of
they're not letting that sparkle now. Okay. Okay. Most Filipinos that are on my channel know that I love the Beanie Girls. They're right up there. Okay. Their newest EP, we've got a song called Zero Pressure. And the text, the lyrics say, zero pressure, zero diamonds. I once said in one of their videos, they went through so much during their trainee days and their beginnings. That was so much pressure on them that they became the diamonds that they are now. Looking at this now, throughout the centuries and how do you call 1,000 years, not centuries? Whatever, the many, many years before, when all of these tectonic plates just crashed upon each other, that's your pressure there. And out of that pressure rose these 7,000 somewhat islands that became these diamonds. That is such a nice thought right now. These are basically the diamonds of the world and the people with it, in a way, you know? Wow, very nice.
over 7,600 islands, with natural wonders generously distributed among them. These include
Yes.
places that are world-renowned today, like the white sand beaches and the party island of Boracay, the jagged limestone cliffs of adventure-filled Palawan, and the secluded landscape of the country's surfing capital, Siargao.
Siargao.
In addition to these tropical havens, other unique sceneries were also created, like this fresh water-filled crater in Taal, where there's an island in
That's the island in the lake and the island in the lake.
in an island,
yes.
in a lake, in an island. And Mount Mayon, the most perfectly cone-shaped volcano in the entire world. On one island, we have a river that runs underground, and on the other, we have hills
The chocolate
that look like they're made of
hills.
chocolate.
Bohol.
But the creation of the Philippine
Actually, the place that I was thinking of first to move to.
Islands didn't just form the natural wonders that we see. It also created fertile environments for all life to thrive. The mineral-rich volcanic soil combined with a climate offering plenty of rain and sunshine is
Yes.
the perfect place for just about anything to grow.
That
It is
true.
also why our country is home to the mighty Philippine eagles and thousands of other species that can't be found anywhere else in the world. The Philippines is teeming with so much life that even in our oceans, you will find the center of marine biodiversity on the planet.
Yes. Sorry I'm coming back to Beanie, but being a Beanie fan here, I would say there's one animal missing here. That would be a puffer fish. If you know, you know.
But what does the country's natural beauty have to do with the beauty of its people? Well, in the Filipino language, the words for country and people are the same. Bayan means community or country, and bayan also means our people, which means
Yes.
that Filipinos are a reflection of the Philippines itself. Like the collision of tectonic plates that formed our country, the Filipino people are a collision of ethnicities, religions, and beliefs
Wow.
united together.
This is so well done. This is such a good video. Wow.
By our shared values, culture, and history. Like the life-giving minerals that come from the devastation of volcanic eruptions, the hope-bringing optimism of the Filipino people also shines through the most when we are standing in the face of struggles and hardships.
There has to be this balance. There has to be the balance of hardship and joy. If you just go down the middle, it's always, you get to know a little bit of joy and a little bit of hardship. But if you take the extremes, if you go through a really rough time, you have to have a really good time to balance that out afterward. Or else you will be pulled into that direction. And that's what makes this so special.
And by seeing ourselves in the beauty of our country, we've also learned to see ourselves in each other. It's a part of our culture that's come to be known as kapwa,
There
our
we
core
go.
value of shared identity.
That is kapwa, yes. Yes, we see each other as the same, on the same boat, going through the same struggles, living as one,
Wherein we see each other as the same. Kapwa is the root of the Filipinos' passion to love, serve, and care for others. From taking in refugees when other nations are in crisis, like the Jewish people, the Russians, and the boat people of Vietnam, to fighting and dying for the citizens of other countries as our Filipino soldiers did during the Korean War. As can be seen throughout our history, kapwa doesn't just mean seeing ourselves in other Filipinos, but seeing ourselves in all people. Kapwa is why Filipinos greet each other by asking if we've eaten yet. It's why we offer our own beds to our guests to make sure that they are as comfortable as possible. And it's why we call each other as ate, kuya, and
Kuya.
other family titles, even if we're not related, because we treat each other as if we are all part of the same family.
Kapamilya, yes. My God. This, we're at the end of video 2 now. I'm wondering what comes with part 3, but this is so deep. It's just an animated, but it goes so deep and it touches the core and the soul of of these profound thoughts that is so good. Wow, it's making me completely emotional here.
So if you're looking for the real beauty of the Philippines, you actually don't have to look very far.
No.
Kapwa is the core, found in the heart of every Filipino.
Just look at the
not
people.
Not just in the Philippines, but in every Filipino around the world. It's a beauty reflected from our nature and practiced through our history. A beauty defined not just by what you can see, but by seeing ourselves in each other.
This is absolutely wonderful. This is really wonderful.
Family gather.
The greatness of the Filipinos. Wow. Yes, I've said this in other documentary reactions that I've done. Please adopt me. Yeah, yes.
Gatherings are one of the greatest parts about being Filipino. Every person there becomes your ate, kuya,
Yes.
tito, or tita, even when you're not really related to all of them. And once
That doesn't
everyone
matter.
is present, cousins and siblings join a talent showcase where we sing and dance our hearts out. While out back, parents proudly celebrate their children's achievements. As first-generation immigrant relatives, we tell epic tales of how they left the Philippines in search of a new life for their family. And no matter how many people join the festivities, there's always more than enough food to go around, as Filipino families open their doors to extend their caring ways to the rest of their community.
Yes. Yes. This is beautiful.
Everyone values family, of course, but no one expresses it quite like us Filipinos. And it's fascinating to wonder how we as a people have come to connect in this way. Why are our family gatherings so great? Where in our culture do these traditions come from? And if we take a look back, thousands of years into the past, how similar were our ancestors compared to us now?
They weren't much different, as
Well,
we saw.
in terms of lifestyle, the early Filipinos were very different from how most of us live today. Specifically, our life back then mostly revolved around the ocean, for we were one of the first known people in history to ever master the seas. We engineered new types of boats that could travel through the vastness of the oceans without a single nail or metal tool. And we invented superior navigational techniques using clouds, currents, creatures, and constellations that allowed us to explore the world without any maps or compasses. Unlike others at the time, we saw the deep sea not as a boundary that we couldn't cross, but as a pathway to adventure and an opportunity for a better life for our families. And the greatness of the early Filipinos was not just limited to the sea, for we were masters of the land as well. One of our most ingenious traditions was to carve our mountainsides into rice terraces. Impossible to do alone, we understood that building them required the whole community to come together. By following the natural contours of our land, these terraces expressed not only our ancestors' spirit to love and serve each other, but also our harmonious relationship with nature.
To love and serve nature in general, yes. To be one with Mother Earth and not to be, the one overpowering Mother Earth.
The results were often so beautiful that it created one of the 8 wonders of the world, while the harvest was so bountiful that it yielded more than enough food to feed our families.
Rice
And
is
to
life.
us, family meant everyone in the community.
Yes.
This mastery over land and sea created flourishing societies that connected with the other cultures around us, allowing our unique Filipino creativity to grow even greater. From designing elaborately weaved patterns inspired by dreams, to intricate tattoos that told the experiences of the warriors who wore them, Filipino creativity spread into almost every facet of our lives, entwining into the very fabric of who we are as a people. We expressed our emotions, beliefs, and stories through this outward display of creativity, and this was most apparent in how we expressed ourselves with gold.
Okay.
Gold played a very important part in the early Filipinos' way of life. We wore it with pride and surrounded ourselves with it all the time because it symbolized something inside of us called kabutihang loob, or goodness within.
Oh.
When we give kindness to those around us, we give it from our kabutihang loob. It is the treasure stored within us when we see each other as kapwa, equal in every aspect of our being, and when we carry out the spirit of bayanihan, or doing things together for the common good. So our mastery over land, sea, and creativity may have made us ahead of our time, but what was even greater were these three Filipino values of kapwa, bayanihan, and kabutihang loob. They made gold as more than just a symbol of status, but a symbol of that goodness within. Gold showed others that there's a treasure of even greater value within every Filipino. A heart made of gold, a heart meant to be given and
This is... I have gone silent for the last couple of minutes because I know if I start talking about this, it's gonna be raining here. Yes, this is wonderful. This is just wonderful.
every Filipino. A heart made of gold, a heart meant to be given and shared for all. That's why, in many ways, we are more similar to our past than we realize.
That is true.
Like our brave ancestors who sailed the unknown in search.
Let me say one thing. It's not about modern living. It's not about the technology and all of that. The thing that has not gone lost is these basic core values of community, of being there for someone else, of helping, of loving. That is still there. In other countries, more like in the West, things like that have often gone lost or have become so diluted and barely visible anymore because of all of the other things that modern life brings with it. But these basic values are still so strong in the Philippines that is one of the most amazing things I have seen
for a better life
and felt, definitely felt in that short time that I was there. That was the most amazing experience I have ever had.
Millions of Filipinos are also making the same sacrifices for their families today, harmonizing with whatever environment and culture they find themselves in, just like the early Filipinos' relationship with our motherland when they first settled into it. Like our ancestors' excellence in seafaring, agriculture, and creativity, we are inspired by Filipinos from everywhere around the world who wholeheartedly give their all in whatever they pursue, taking on challenges with the same spirit as the forefathers that came before them. And like our ancestors who were always serving family, Filipinos today work together to always make sure that everyone is well fed and given the care that they need, whether we're actually related to them or not. So it's no wonder that our family gatherings are the way they are. Because even after thousands of years, the root of the Filipino way of life remains the same. To build each other up, generously giving one another the gold that is stored within our hearts. For this is our country's greatest treasure, refined by the challenges of our past and flames of our history. So whether you realize it or not, this is who we are and who we will always be. One people who serve each other like one family and love each other with one heart. A heart full of goodness within.
Goodness within. Okay, this is rough. Not rough what I just saw. It's rough to hold myself together. This is actually beautiful. I basically don't really know what to say right now. It is it is so true what was said throughout all three videos, and they are so well done, touching on the exact roots of everything. You know, there was not much talking around, beating around the bush, as you say. It was, this one went right in. This one, yeah, they were good. Very well narrated. I liked the voice. Very soothing, very calming. The visuals were beautiful. And yes, I mean the subject of all three videos, yeah, I've always wondered where my deep interest in the Philippines comes from, but I guess I'm just somewhat alike, you know, somewhat on that same wave of thought. I don't know. It's this was nice. This was really nice. Folks, maraming salamat po for being here. You guys are great too. You guys are awesome. Thank you for telling me to watch this. I've got so many more on my list, and I will be diving into all of them. Most of them. Yes. But this was nice. Yeah, you guys take care, stay safe, and as I always say, sarangge, annyeong, paalam, until the next time.